Yes, welcome back to In the Red Corner podcast with me, Ross. I hope everyone's well this evening. It's WBKB Thursday. Merchandise is available. Reach out to us on the social media platforms and get yours now, as well as your tickets as well. But we'll talk more about that with Gilly. We've got Gilly on. I'm not sure if David Round's going to come on. Depends how he's feeling, I suppose. Evening, Ray, Mondo, Gecko, Frosty. Hope you're well, bro. Hope you're well, my man. Yeah, exciting times. I'm not sure if anyone's just seen, we've just put the BKFC 64 press conference that I hosted with Lou Fuse, sparked by Rackner Media. That's just came out tonight, and then the full press conference will be out tomorrow night at 7 o'clock on the Fuse YouTube channel. So go over and watch that because you don't want to miss it. There was some chat between the Brumtown Bomber. See, I can't say it again. I'm pleased it wasn't live when I done it. The Brumtown Bomber and Johnny Graham. Matt the Savage Sutton in the house. How are you doing, Matt? I hope you're well. But tonight, this is a history-making moment for the WBKB. We've got the female fight all organised and sorted. Unfortunately, Sandra Rees can't come on this evening, but we'll get her on in the next couple of weeks. But we've got Tammy O'Connor making a WBKB debut. But we'll get Gilly on to talk a little bit more, shall we? How are you doing, mate?
I'm very good, mate. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. I'm good. It was a heated conversation at the press conference, mate. You're right, it was. Looking forward to that coming out tomorrow. Mate, how are things? You all right?
Yeah, really good, mate. Really good. Like you say, it's all systems go in the world of BKB at the moment, isn't it? You know, we've got like you say, the BKFC press conference and all systems go hosted by yourself. Our good friend Ray there, sneaking in and no doubt taking some absolutely fantastic footage along with the viewers. Evening to you, Ray. Then obviously we've got the whole Danny Christie resurrecting the Decker Heggie potential rematch. And then obviously, you know, the big one, which is the WBKB show on the 31st of August. And obviously tonight we're going to be joined by Tammy O'Connor, and she's going to talk to us about her background in combat sport and talk about the event and her sort of debut in the world of BKB. So all systems go, mate. Busy, isn't it?
It certainly is. I see Danny called out Dave Mundell as well, which would be an interesting one.
Oh, now then, I must admit, like I say, I didn't see the Dave Mundell call out, just the Deck Eggy one. I've got to be honest with you, the speaking as dare to say a bit of a purist, the fight with Dave Mundell is certainly one that sparks my interest far more than resurrecting sort of, you know, Decker Heggie onto the bare knuckle boxing scene, if I'm being totally honest with you. You know, I think at this moment in time, the American guys are the yardstick, aren't they? You know, it's guys like Dave Mundell and Lorenzo Hunt and kind of Jared Warren are the guys that have set a bit of a benchmark. And you know, I'd love to see more of our English guys go over there and do what Mick Terrill's done and beat them in their own backyard and take those titles off them and claim them scalps. And so I'd like to say, with that in mind, I'd love to see Danny go over there and fight Dave Mundell. And you know, like you say, I think Danny could certainly beat him in that fight. I think it'd be a great fight, that one.
It would be. Danny Christie obviously being the WBKB special guest referee, which we're over the moon to have, along with Dave Stroughton. You know, a fine combatist in his own rights.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, you know something? There's a lot of people who probably won't have seen it, but if you actually go onto YouTube and search it out, they're actually old opponents, Danny Christie and Dave Stroughton. And they had a fight on I think it was a cage carnage show at Carlisle at the Hilltop Hotel. And it was an absolutely fantastic fight. I would challenge anybody enough to watch that fight and come away from it and not see how good of a fighters that the pair of them are, and how much respect that they've earned in the world of combat sports, the pair of them.
Absolutely. Bare Knuckle Sports, Simon Kirk in the house. Hope you're well, Simon. Mondo Gecko, it's all going off at the moment. What a time to be alive! It certainly is, my man. Kev couldn't be with us tonight, unfortunately, but he's in the comments. He's actually at one of the sponsors, having some food, isn't he? He's at Leo's Bar he's at Workington or Whitehaven.
That's right. Yeah, he's currently sat in Leo's Bar in Workington, having yet another fantastic meal, courtesy of Paul McGee and the staff down there at Leo's Bar. Like I say, you know, really fantastic pub food, great environment. They've also got the England game down there on Sunday for anybody in the area who's thinking about where to watch the England Euro 2024 final. I mean, I'm thinking that's maybe why David Round's gone missed on us, to be honest with you, Ross. You know, all this all this success that England's having is probably somewhere drowning in a pool of Holston pills as we speak, unfortunately.
Simon Kirk, that reminds me, I need to book the hotel for the 31st. Yeah, Simon, give us a shout after this, and I'll let you know which hotel to have a look at. Yeah, it's going to be some night. WBKB 3, it's on, and like I say, we've got a female fight, which even the BKFC struggle to get female fights, and we're honoured and proud to have these two warrior women that are going to put on a show for us.
Absolutely, like you say, I think it's something that we've kind of set out in our stall was, we want to make sure that we get every demographic sort of a fighter basically on the WBKB. I think you look at the female fights, and you'll have to excuse my sort of sometimes lack of knowledge of names, but probably one of the biggest displays of heart and grit that I've seen in a bare knuckle environment was it Melanie Shah on the BKFC?
Yeah, Mel Shah, she's an absolute weapon.
I'd like to say, so to me, like you say, that these ladies, they really do earn their place in the world of combat sports. That they're tough, they're enthusiastic, and I think it's just another string to our bow that we're going to be sort of expanding our horizons and bringing out these fights and giving females opportunities also in the sport, because as you've sort of alluded to, Ross, there's probably massive opportunities out there for female fighters, because there isn't really an abundance of them at this moment in time. But I do think eventually it'll catch up to the male sort of side of the BKB sport. And what Sandra Rees and Tammy O'Connor are doing here is making history and becoming a bit, they're basically they're blazing a trail. And it'd be nice to think that other females will follow, and that this won't be our last female contest. That we'll be able to get more of them matched up in future. And we're looking forward to these two putting on a war, because I just think it's got all the ingredients of that. Sandra's already sold a lot of tickets. Sandra's bringing a fantastic following. She's really putting her heart and soul into everything that she's doing with the fight, as is Tammy. And I think, when you get that situation where you've got two fighters who dedicate to it and give it all that they've got, I think it's basically what you end up with is a fantastic fight. And I think this fight will be as good as any fight that we've got on this card. I'm really excited about it, Ross.
Yeah, I've said it all along when I've had Mel Shah on the podcast and Ty Emery and many other fighters as well. But like, women bring violence; they really do bring violence, don't they?
Absolutely, like you say, they are basically ferocious creatures. That women, like you say, they're certainly going to be bringing the action to us on the 31st of August. And like you say, I just think this fight is going to be fantastic, because both these girls are coming into the fight with real high hopes for achieving something in the sport of BKB, and it's obvious to everybody now that the platform's there, the pathway's there for them, and we're looking forward to seeing them both in action, giving them that exposure, and just seeing where their careers go from here. Basically, I mean, it's both of their WBKB and BKB debuts, and I just think it's going to be an absolutely fantastic fight, and it's just going to add to the whole feel of the show. It really is going to add an extra depth and an extra dimension, and that's what we're looking to do, Ross. Is every show we're looking to raise the bar. We want every show that we do to be better than the last one, and it's easier said than done, because I think the first two shows really did set a high standard. But I think this one's going to go on to the next level, and like you say, having the addition of this fight is certainly part of that plan for us to take it to the next level.
Definitely is, and I agree with you there, Simon, as well. BK bare knuckle sport, Christine Faria versus Jab Mason Wong. It's going to be one to watch, and hopefully, depending on performance and things like that, we're going to have some big people there, around the BKFC that can, a lot of the fighters on the card could possibly move on into the prospect shows. I mean, like I say, we've got a proven pathway to the BKFC, having one of our former champions, WBKB champions, move on to the BKFC.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you say, I mean, I think we had this conversation privately, Ross, and without naming them, I think of the guys who fought on WBKB 2, I think there's 5 of them at least will eventually end up fighting in the BKFC. Obviously, I'm not going to name those guys and put the pressure on them, but I genuinely think that's the level of prospect that we've got fighting for us at the moment at WBKB. I really think that there's guys on our show that have really got the sky, to be the limit. I mean, we've gone over and over it again, but like I say, such as in terms of high stakes and the quality of fights outside of the big organisations, such as Jack Dugdale versus Vidmantas Senechkis, to me, the fights don't really come much bigger than that. And then obviously you've got prospects, again, I think the Dean Morris and Manny Hamid fight's absolutely huge. I think it's gone under the radar a little bit, that fight. And I just think that fight could really be a proper banger because, like I say, Dean Morris has previously fought down in London on the BKB shows. He's a champion. He's proved his worth. And then anybody who's seen Manny Hamid do his thing, he's a really slick southpaw. And these are guys to watch because, the guys who are destined for big things. And, the fact that we've got them on the WBKB show and coming to Cumbria and fighting for us is a huge, huge sort of feather in our cap, basically.
Yeah, absolutely. But let's we've got one of Tammy's old opponents in there, Sarah Holdsworth, saying an old opponent of mine in boxing, and she's hard as nails. Definitely coming to support her. We appreciate that. But let's get Tammy on, shall we?
Absolutely.
Bring her in now. Yes, Tammy, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. Sarah missed that, but I was like that. She read that out. But she was a good fight.
Appreciate you coming on. Thank you very much. We're all really excited to have you and to learn a little bit more about you as well. And your background, obviously, your former opponent there saying boxing. So is that how you got into combat sports?
Yeah, it was a charity gigs to start with. Did pink collar boxing, and then I just went up and up. Ended up doing MMA, and then last proper fight with Sarah. But yeah, I've just always wanted a bit more though out of it. So this was proper done me good. I can't wait.
Taking a step into the bare knuckle world now, and is that something that you've kind of had your eye on? You've been watching the sport in the background, or?
No, to be fair, that was thanks to Sarah. That she posted a video one at night she'd went to, and I said I wouldn't mind having a go at that. And then Simon saw it, he put me on to Kev, and boom, there I am. So yeah, all right, something went in my favour. But yeah, I wanted to keep going at it anyways. I just didn't know how to get in there, so I'm happy.
Yeah, we're happy to have you as well, aren't we, Gil?
Absolutely. Like I say, it's a huge honour to have Tammy and Sandra competing for us on the show. Obviously, we're very grateful for Tammy making it onto the podcast tonight. So just from your end, Tammy, obviously you've given us there your background in sort of combat sports and things like that. What motivates you on a personal level? What is it that sort of lights the fire under you to want to do this sort of thing, on
my kids more than all else, and just being able to just fight for myself, stand up for myself, and it gives you that bit of confidence as well, doesn't it? So yeah, it's a bit of all that. And just life itself, just kind of keeps you going, doesn't it? And when there's something that work for and show off.
Yeah. I mean, I speak to a lot of fighters, and they always say it's nice to have something to kind of aim towards and train for and get out of bed for in the morning and have a fight, booked and ready. Yeah. Do you think this is something that you're kind of just going to dip into, or do you think you're going to kind of maybe make a bare knuckle your home?
Yeah, I think so. I want to. I'd rather do that. I don't want to be dipping in and out of it now. I think I've done that enough with boxing and MMA, but I think, this would probably be my thing. Prefer it.
What was your strengths in MMA then? Were you jiu-jitsu or were you stand-up or?
No, I just went for it. I don't have really, when it came to MMA, like I say, it was mostly charity ones, so I was limited on what we could do anyways in some ways. And I didn't like being limited, so it was a little bit, I was a bit uneasy with it. But I did well. Every time I did it, there was no other female fighters to fight me, so I ended up having to do it with one of their lasses that had done it quite a lot, and she took a fair beating. So yeah, I only ever lost by 1 point, and I drew on another one, so that wasn't too bad, I don't think. But yeah, I didn't really have a decent way of it.
I mean, it's still bare knuckles a combat sport in itself, and you see boxers coming over and they maybe don't exactly transition in MMA fighters, but you'll have the grapple you'll be used to, obviously, in the world of MMA, which is can be utilised in the WBKB. It's still kind of finding its feet. You can pick little bits up off people and things, and it's unreal. It's unreal. I did speak about, I mentioned Ty Emery earlier. She's fighting in Japan for the BKFC soon on the Rising card as well. And I reached out to her, and she sent over this for us.
G'day, ladies, and I want to send you a big congratulations on even choosing to get into the bare knuckle sport. I'm so excited to see some females coming through. Bare knuckle is about to change your life. This is literally one of the best sports in the world. You've got to have giant balls to get in there, and I'm super, just so over the moon to see that there's women coming through. Hopefully you guys stick it out and you too can potentially end up in BKFC and change your life just like me. It's one of the best platforms. It's one of the greatest families, and I'm so proud, ladies. So get in there, never give up, and make sure you show all your heart and all your soul out there. Peace.
That's Ty Emery there. Thank you very much for that, Ty. Appreciate it.
Wow, that's absolutely awesome, to be honest with you, Ross. Because like you say, ladies like her, they've blazed the trail, and now it's time for other ladies to follow in those footsteps. And it's lovely to see. Obviously, Sarah's popped a couple of comments in there about how how tough Tammy is, and and how game she is, and it's like that's it's fantastic to hear that. I think what's lovely with Sarah's comments is, as a former opponent, I think only in combat sport do you see that aftermath of respect. I mean, I would imagine, Tammy, it looks like you two are now great friends, and it just shows how you make friends in unlikely ways in this sport, doesn't it?
Well, I think a bit ago, me and Sarah were on about fighting. A lot of people think it's just a bit of a nasty, dirty sport and stuff, don't it? But it's not fighting to hurt each other. It's for something else. It's a lot deeper than that, innit? And yeah, it's one of those. I think once you've done that fight, and then being able to just give your opponent a big hug and have a laugh after it's brilliant. Well, I love it. But yeah,
it's Absolutely. A bond, isn't it? It's a bond that only you two will ever share. You shared that moment in time.
Yeah, there's not many people that can punch you square in the face and then have a laugh after, is
it? No, that's right. I mean, how do you think? So obviously, this isn't your first ring walk, Tammy. You've done the ring walk and all the rest of it. What do you think? But obviously, this is kind of a new discipline for yourself. So you can imagine it's 31st of August. It's a nice day. There's a packed out crowd. All of a sudden, your music hits and it's time to make that ring walk. What do you think's going to be going through your mind when that happens? What do you think the emotions will be?
Probably just shitting myself, to be honest with you. Every time I come out, it's just that horrible. I just get an awful feeling. I'm not too big with crowds anyways, but once I get in the ring, it's completely different. But then I'm just kind of like head on and do what I need to do. But yeah, I do love it. I love the feeling, but at the same time, it's just so overwhelming. I kind of have to shut down. So I'll probably hit my head down and try to block everything out, knowing me. But yeah, it's probably the worst part for me. I just want to get in that ring and do it.
Yeah, I think it just shows differences of people, isn't it? Because there's some fighters out there who can absolutely milk the ring walk, and sometimes they don't back up. The ring walk's about the highlight of their appearances, because they get in the ring and it doesn't quite, their ability doesn't quite match how flamboyant they are with the ring walk and things like that. But obviously you're kind of different, where it's like the ring walk's your hard part, and then you get in there. And so once you've got into the ring on the 31st of August, obviously bare knuckle boxing debut, you've got Sandra Rees opposite the ring from you. How do you see the fight playing out, Tammy?
I think we're both going to get a bit of a shock, aren't we? Because if this is her first fight, I've not obviously fought with bare knuckles before. I think once we both get a good smacking, it's going to, yeah, we'll know about it, won't we? So, I don't know. I mean, I think because once I get into that state of mind, I kind of just bounce off of hits and nothing kind of affects me. So I'm a bit old, like adrenaline based, and I just go for it. I'm a bit wild as well. So, I don't know. I'm hoping, obviously, it's going to go in my favour. But yeah, hopefully it'll just be a bit of a shock to how much I do go in. But yeah. I think it'll be a good fight. Every fight I've had, everybody has said it's been a really good fight. Even mine and Sarah's fight said it would fight at night. So I've been pretty all in. So yeah, I can't wait for it.
Fantastic. And how's training camp going? What are we now? Just under 8 weeks away, is it, Gil?
Yeah, just under 8 weeks now until show day, Ross.
Yeah, so how's all that going for you?
I've been taking it slowish so far. I've been trying to condition my knuckles a little bit. I don't know if you can see. I'm a bit fucked. And my wrists and stuff, and I'm just working on my stamina a bit more and my fitness. I've got to try and meet her in the middle with her weight, so I've got to put on weight a little bit. She's got to lose it a little bit to try and square each other out. And yeah, so yeah, it's fucking hard. It's hard to put on weight whilst you're doing so much. So yeah.
Yeah. What are you doing to condition your knuckles?
Mostly punching bag, just with fists, just bare fists, and odd little bits of whatever. I've been mucking about with my kid trying to do karate, you know. Mucking about, giving it all this, if I can crack it, I can crack it kind of thing. But yeah. Just mucking about mostly. My 14-year-old Mikey, he loves a good little spar with me, so it's all right. Me and him can have a bit of a bash, and he goes all for me as well. So he keeps me on it.
And Sarah says there, and we're going to be getting together and doing bits, aren't we?
Yeah. She's going to help me out. Good sparring session.
Yeah, like I say, it sounds like you've got the ideal sparring partners there. You know, a 14-year-old hormonal boy going through the, you know, and then obviously an old foe in Sarah, like you say. But I did actually see the video before of you on the bag, just conditioning your knuckles, and I noticed that you said that the bag had came down a few times. So obviously that indicates that you've obviously got a bit of power there behind what you've been doing as well.
Oh yeah, well, screws are like that or something like that. So it's really took chunks out of my wall. I'm not gonna let. It's because obviously I've got kids, so I've got to train when I can train. So it's like 10 minutes before dinner's done or anything, I'm on it. And yeah, my bag's obviously not on the wall anymore, so I need to sort that out.
Absolutely. Well, like I say, just like backed up by Sarah, she's just commented to say she hits bloody hard. So that's an endorsement from Sarah there as to the power that you bring in. And like I say, I think it's just again on the night you and Sandra are going to make history. It's our first ever women's bare knuckle boxing bout, Tammy. And just to reiterate, we're honoured to have the pair of you on the show. We're really looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a great fight. What I would like to do is, just to encourage people who are watching this. Again, we do it every week, but we've got a fighter here who deserves a bit of support. So if you're a business wanting to gain some good exposure across all our social media platforms, across her Facebook and things like that, then get in touch with Tammy. Tammy will have sponsorship opportunities. Or if you want, again, message us through the page. We'll get in touch with Tammy and connect you guys up. But the main thing is, like to say, this is a hard working family woman on a journey now in BKB who deserves all the support and all the sponsorship that she can get. So if you want a ticket, buy it through Tammy. She gets commission on those tickets. And again, businesses, hit her up and give her a sponsorship because I think she deserves it.
Cheers.
Yeah, well said, Gil. Camps ain't cheap. All the food and the gyms and the travel and the sparring and everything like that. Nothing comes for free in this world, does it? So, yeah, I'll reiterate what Gilly just said there. To help Sandra and help Sandra and Tammy as well. On their journey in bare knuckle.
Absolutely. It's very worthwhile. And like you say, on the night they're going to be making history. We'll have some great footage. We're going to have, like you say, Winwood Media will be there, and they'll be doing some absolutely fantastic footage of the event. Lou's going to be there, isn't he? And Lou will be doing his thing from the Fuse podcast.
Lou Fuse.
Yeah,
exciting as well. We've got Bad Blood podcast going to be coming down as well. He's getting back into the bare knuckle scene. And I want to give a shout out to Callum Fuller, who's also fighting on the card. But speaking to him yesterday, is like he's just breaking out himself into this kind of podcast world and social media kind of thing, and he's doing really well. Keep on going with it, Cal. He's going to get some footage and things as well and do his own little thing. So
fantastic.
We're happy to have everyone.
We are, and like you say, the great thing is we can give these fighters the coverage and the exposure that they deserve, because they're the stars of the show, basically. But that's what it's all about. It's the fighters that make the show. It's the fighters that make us tick, and it's the fighters that make it all worthwhile for us doing it.
Absolutely. And of course, we can't do it without our sponsors either, can we? Been absolutely a massive help to us. We'll give them a shout in a minute. But before we finish up, Tammy, is there anyone that you want to give a shout out to, or thanks to, teammates, gyms, coaches, anything like that?
To be fair, Sarah, Lily, the poor people I've fought with, and Lee Mertag, he was the first trainer I had in Bethlehem boxing. Him, because he kind of really helped me get on with it well. And
sorry, Tammy, was that Lee Merter? Did you say
Lee Mertag? Yeah, he worked at Bethlehem boxing, and he helped me get started, to be fair, and kind of give me a bit of what I know. Yeah.
I done my professional boxing judges and referees course through Lee. So I've actually been down to the Bethlehem gym in Leeds, and Lee's a super fella. He's a former Irish professional boxing champion and an all-round great bloke, is Lee. So, yeah, like you say, if you see before I do, you'll have to tell him I was asking after him. A proper good fella is Lee. Real proper boxing man.
He's a laugh, isn't
he? He's a good bloke. He is.
Oh, but yeah, I'm some of my family that kind of are supporting me, but yeah, I don't have many that are, like I say, they don't enjoy me getting punched about, to be fair, so people are a bit off it, but yeah, I've got enough on my side, so I'm thankful for what I've got and who's there.
Amazing, Tammy. Thank you very much for coming on the podcast. Really appreciate it. We look forward to seeing you at the show. A history-making night, like Gilly said. Go and get your tickets through Tammy. You can find her on Instagram, and her Instagram's in the description box. Give her a follow, and help support her journey as well.
100%. Thank you very much for coming on, Tammy. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you for tonight.
No, you're welcome, and thanks for having me. As awkward as I've been.
No, you haven't been awkward. You've been great.
Back on the.
We'll speak to you very soon, though, Tammy. Thanks very much.
Yep, all right. Thank you. Bye.
Bye. What an amazing woman. Balls of steel.
Well, do you know, it's like you say, something, Ross, it's a different dynamic, isn't it? Because obviously, you look, most guys, unfortunately, as fighters, have to juggle between sort of work and the fighting and things like that. And here we've got like a woman with a totally different challenge where, she's raising her family and she's trying to sneak in back time in between the fact that, she's got to do all the house, the stuff around the house. She's got to feed the kids and things like that. And it's obviously a totally different dynamic for her. But I think, just speaking to her there and listening to her, she's somebody who I find really inspiring, to be honest with you, Ross. And, it's like I say, absolutely fantastic that she's going to come and put her best foot forward in the WBKB. She's obviously a tough game fighter. And yeah, I just think, like you say, that fight really has got all the hallmarks, because Sandra's, going to bring a big crowd with her, and she's got some fantastic sponsors, which we'll sort of go through when we get her back on the podcast in the next week or so. But I just think, yeah, like you said, just listening to Tammy there, it's really fantastic, and you almost want them, it's like you want them all to succeed, don't you? Unfortunately, the nature of the sport is that not everybody can succeed. But when you listen to like the fighters and the stories, you realise that they've all got a story, haven't they? They've all got a motivation. I was like, why do you fight, Tam? She's like, I fight for my kids and I fight for a better future. Yeah. And there's nothing more noble than that, to be quite honest with you. And it's fantastic, and hats off to her. And like I say, I think, she was probably a little bit apprehensive coming on the podcast, but she's absolutely smashed it out the park, to be honest with you. She was a great guest, and it was fantastic having her on.
Absolutely. Question there from King's Motivation. Is the other fighter, David Round, not coming on tonight in a bit? No, unfortunately not. He couldn't make it tonight. Hopefully he'll be back next week. But you can find out if he's going to be back next week on in the Red Corner Podcast Instagram page. Yeah, sorry about that, because I really enjoyed having him on last week. He was good fun, wasn't he?
Well, he's mourned at us, and he's finally got his WBKB merchandise. We were looking forward to seeing him properly representing us tonight with a pack of the Hamlet cigars and a 4-pack of Holston pills, and that's what
he's got what he wanted. He's got his merchandise and just disappeared, hasn't he? That's all he wanted, and that would mean nothing to him now.
No, pretty much, like you say. What can I say? He's on the poster collector list, isn't he? The WBKB poster list. Like you say, in one breath he's the Welsh gangster, in the next he's there making homemade soup and missing our podcast. But like you say, I'm getting my digs in now, because he will be back in the next couple of weeks, and yeah,
they put it on us when he comes up here.
Oh, absolutely. Like you say, last week I was in tears just listening to his, just the things he was coming out with. Was absolutely fantastic. It just rolls off his tongue, doesn't it? It's just a natural when it comes.
When you say it just rolls off his tongue, you mean shit spews out of his mouth, I think you mean, don't you?
Well, yeah, I mean, calling me Bill off guess who and things like that. What's that all about? To be quite honest with you, but I mean, look, if I was Welsh and England were in the European football finals and my rugby union team was shit and things like that, I'd probably be keeping a low profile as well, like David. So we'll maybe see him next week. Depends whether England beats Spain, possibly.
Yeah.
Or if he's found a decent stash of lager, or absolutely. Or maybe he's waiting for his hair to grow back. I'm not sure, Ross.
Maybe.
We'll find out. I'm sure we'll find out.
As I alluded to before, how important the sponsors for the WBKB have been, and I want to give them a quick shout out now. So I'll bring them in now. Play it from the start. That would help. Bounty competitions. We've got. It would help if I press play as well, wouldn't it? Bounty competitions, cloud competitions, Lake District Raw Dog Food, Maxwell Flooring, Peyton Brothers Scaffolding, Vandella Phone Repairs, and our new sponsor, Paige Sewell Beauty. Really appreciate that. She just came on today. She sponsored us before as well, hasn't she, Gil?
Yeah, and like I say, obviously we've got sponsorship packages still available, but a huge thank you to Paige Sewell, who's come on board. Based in the centre of Whitehaven. She does massage, so any type of massage that you want, plus your beauty treatments, hit Paige Sewell up in Whitehaven Town Centre. She's your go-to person, does a fantastic job, and we are really grateful to Paige for joining our sponsorship portfolio. It's massively appreciated by all of us at Team WBKB, and I think as the next slide indicates, Ross, it's Thursday night, and it's our reminder that, it's there we go, it's okay to talk. Andy's Man's Club. Obviously, like I say, those guys are going to be there for us on the day of the show, providing a presence for people to come and talk to them, fighters and spectators. So it'd be fantastic to have those guys along. And obviously, another shout out to Nicky Little. Nicky Little does some absolutely fantastic work for the WBKB with regards to our raffles and things like that. Just generally getting out there and assist us and helping them make sure that possible. So thank you very much to Nicky Little for all that he does. Nicky's got a great reputation in Whitehaven for his valeting work. So again, check him out if you want a car valet. Nicky's your guy, and he's just an all-round top bloke. Thank you very much for all you do for us, Nicky. It's really appreciated.
Yeah, and we were talking in a meeting the other night, weren't we? I'm going to hopefully try and get some BKFC merchandise signed from some of the fighters as well from the next show. Fingers crossed on that one that will be auctioning off on the night.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'd just like to give a little shout out. Johnny Miller, Johnny's Bartek, is sort of him and Dave Stratton do all the coaching of Bartek. On Saturday, just gone, Johnny had, one of the best couple of days of his life. He got married to his lovely wife, Helen, at the Whitehaven Golf Club. So I just want to say congratulations to Johnny and Helen on the wedding, and I hope they have a long and successful life together. The great news was he got married on the Saturday, and on the Monday he picked up his bus pass. So well done, Thriller. Like to say, all the best to you and your wife for the future.
Yeah, brilliant, mate. And the reason why Kev couldn't make it tonight, it's Kevin Kelly's daughter's birthday. So many happy returns. Happy birthday.
Yeah, 11-year-old. Happy birthday to Edie. Fantastic kid. Like you say, one of the best is our Ed. And I hope she's had a fantastic birthday. They'll all be somewhere in a food coma as we speak. While me and you were talking about pot noodle sandwiches before the podcast come on, Ross. This is it. Like you say, he used to be not that the podcast wasn't great, but I must admit, he was supposed to be the highlight. That every Thursday he was supposed to get me tea made by Kev, but that's it. Now I'm on the pot noodle sandwiches, and if I haven't got a pot noodle in, I think it'll be jam on toast, to be honest with you. So while Kev's probably no doubt I'd like a mixed grill or a nice big steak pie or a gammon or something like that, I hope he knows that I'm like wasting away here, to be honest with you. The weight's dropping off us, and it's all his fault.
Come on, Gilly. We all know you parked outside McDonald's. Don't give us that.
Oh, do you know what? I think it's like saying Candyman. I think if you say that 3 times, Rick will pop up and start giving us shite in the comments, to be honest with you. But yeah, no, fantastic. And like I say, obviously, again, just that quick reminder to, like I say to folk, get your tickets. We keep saying, every week, get your tickets. The tickets keep flowing out. Kev's getting lots of interest. Plenty of tickets are getting sold. So every week that passes, the chances of you actually getting a ticket for this event get less and less and less. So get your fingers out, guys. Message us on the Facebook page. Message us through the WBKB Instagram, or message Kev direct on 07568 729 822. And don't miss out, Saturday the 31st of August 2024 at the Copeland Stadium in Whitehaven. It's going to be the biggest and best WBKB show yet. So come along and enjoy it.
Absolutely. And of course, you can get your tickets through the fighters as well and help them earn a payday too.
Absolutely. Support your fighter. Like you say, help them on the journey. That's what friends are for, isn't it? Like you say, all these fighters that are fighting, they're all somebody's mate, or they're all somebody's family. Back your fighter, get behind them and make their payday even better for them.
Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. Gilly, it's been a pleasure again, pal. And we'll be back next Thursday with another couple of fighters. To
be confirmed. But that's correct, Ross. Always a pleasure. Never a chore, mate.
Yeah, nice one, mate. We'll speak to you very soon. Appreciate Tammy for coming on. Thank you very much, and we'll see you next week. Jab that like button, jab the subscribe button, go over to the Instagrams and give them a follow, and we'll see you next week.